Hello, hello. What's going on, guys? So it's my first video back. I'm excited to actually shoot this. Um, the number one thing that I've came across is people are just not having enough business, right? The thing you need to understand is when you don't have enough business, the main thing you're looking at it's a distribution issue because if you understood why distribution is so important, then you wouldn't struggle with business because there's three core pillars anytime you're looking to grow a business or start a business or after a business has enough momentum, there's three things that are gonna grow a business, keep the business alive, and then making sure that it's delivering a good product. So like first thing is marketing, next thing is sales, then it's fulfillment, right? And then you have admin and stuff like that, but we're not talking about that. Um what I would say is when you're talking about distribution, it doesn't matter the distribution. A lot of people worry about if I'm gonna run ads or I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that, and it doesn't matter. Like if you look at marketing, you could use ads, you could use flyers, you could use like billboards, you could text people, you could voice message, you could run a blimp in front of 10,000 people with your message. So like it doesn't really matter. What's more important is are you talking to the right person at the right time? And then are you talking to enough people? Because that's the thing that people struggle with the most is that they're not talking to enough people. Um, it's super important to understand that understand your financial model, right? So like different people are in different areas um with their business. So it's like when you understand your financial model, you'll understand you can reverse engineer how many people you have to talk to in order to get a customer. And that's empowering because once you understand the numbers, you're able to ask yourself a real question of like, did I do enough? And most people, they just haven't done enough. So that is the most important thing is like understand where your numbers are and understand how much do you actually need in order to be successful. So like you can look at average statistics on like what a financial model would look like from, let's say in my position, it's like you want a client, okay, how many booked calls do you actually need to get a client? Okay, and then out of those booked calls, how many people actually show up, right? So that's even a bigger number, right? So total book calls to the how many people actually show up to a client, and then before the book calls, there's okay, how many people positively replied? And then apart from that, there's how many people replied in general, might not have been positive. And then before that, there's how many people did you contact? So like understanding your financial model and understanding what it takes in order to get to where you want to go is the first step because if you don't know that, then you're not going to be successful no matter what you do because you don't have your numbers. And that's why people always talk about like making sure you have your numbers because that's what's going to allow you to be successful in the first place. Maybe I can draw something out here. Um, let's see. Let's see. But like that's the big core pillar. It's being able to understand what it's actually going to take. So let me show you guys um, right now. So so this is it right here. Okay. Boom. Now you see my screen. Okay. This is being weird. Okay, notability is failing me. There you go. So very important to understand what actually goes into your numbers, right? So you have, let's just say, messages, total messages. You have total replies. Then you have positive replies, oh, right? And then you have book calls. You have show ups. Then you have closed, right? So like each of these variables right here, from here to here, and from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, they're all going to have drop-offs, right? So like it's important that you understand that like, for example, from total replies, let's say only 10% reply, right? And this is just hypothetical, like this is not like for sure, but like you know what I'm getting at here. But let's say you have that and then, let's say from here, um, let's just say um let's just do 1%. From total messages to total replies, let's say 1% of people reply. From total replies to positive replies, you could do 1%. From positive replies to book calls, you could do 1%. From book call to show up, you could do like 50%. And then from book calls, you could do like 20%, right? This is extremely conservative, but if you were to find how much, like if you find out the total input of this, you will be able to have a number that you can at least have a direction towards until you actually figure out your actual numbers. And then from there, mm, you're able to actually analyze your data and then make a concrete decision on like, okay, I did this much of work. Okay, how much is actually going to take in order to get this result? So, um, that's what a financial model does, right? Obviously, I drew it in a very cute way right here, but you can understand like the power of that, right? And um, that's why stuff like, you know, understanding your financial numbers are is key. Like in order to be successful with any marketing campaign or anything you do, like if you can understand the math behind it, odds are you probably will be successful. And that's why distribution, like that's how you're able to determine how much marketing you need to do, how much distribution you need to maintain a certain amount of clients closed or a certain status quo of what you're trying to do. So that's what I would recommend in terms of distribution. And then so that's what distribution is. It's like how many people you're actually getting in contact with. And the reason why you need to understand that is because in order to actually get a client, you need to be able to reverse engineer that, and you do that through the financial model, like I just showed you. And when do you do this? You do this at a daily level. Like if you know, um, if you know, let's take that back. You do this at a per deal level, right? So like, for example, you might have a deal a year, right? That's for some businesses. For some businesses, it's you might have 5 to 10 closes, right? Or 5 to 10 deals per day. So understand what your goal is, like in terms of revenue, and then reverse engineer that. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea like what distribution is and why it's important. So hopefully that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.